Hello and welcome to Body Bags. My name is James. I'm your Sunday night reviewer, and this evening I took a slightly different view on the movie. Well, the choice of movie that I'm going to review, and I went with a 2015 film of how not to make a horror film. Now this is it's a real documentary. There's a Australian filmmaker. His name Matthew J. Wilkinson, and he's a film student, and he wanted to make a film. He wanted to make a horror film. I think the story went he was out somewhere with his dad, and they found this location, and he was like, "I have to make a movie here. It's perfect." It's this like dilapidated house literally in the middle of nowhere, just dusty fields and this long, straight, dusty road with no one around. And he was like, "This is where my film will be." So he started work, writing a story, getting all the bits and pieces together. It started to grow and grow. He got more people involved. He started to get some money. He got credit cards, different things, a little bit of funding, money from his family and things like that. So he managed to scrape together, I think it was $30,000. But this was in, I believe, 2007. I think this was. So it's a bit of a time ago now. And yeah. So he got the story, he got the crew together, so he got the basic crew. He got someone to do camera work, someone to do lighting. He got people to do makeup, obviously, and costume and things like that. He was there as editor. No health and safety, this sort of thing, because he had no money, and that's one of the big things at the start of the film. It's like this place was just a wreck. But he was like, they had to cut corners, obviously. I think as many independent filmmakers do. If you are going to go by the book, as they say, you never get anything made because it will just cost so much money. So as well as all that, he got some actors together, and they set out to start filming. We find out that just before, sorry, I'm a little fuzzy on the detail. It's like I think it was that they're going to shoot digitally, and then literally a couple of days before, the cost suddenly went up. They had no budget they only budgeted that exact cost, and because that went over, then they had to change. I think it was the choice of 16 mil or 35, and he managed to go. He decided to go 35, I think. More tricky piece of equipment, and having to buy the film and things like that. That's the choice he went with, and so immediately things are starting to go wrong. So they get there. They're trying to do filming. There's a lot of little mishaps and things going on. Interesting thing that they have. You never know this person, because legally I don't think they can divulge the information, but there's someone that's a little more of a professional actor, I think, in this film. Basically, they're a huge pain in the arse. They're just completely two-faced, moaning, bitching constantly, and kind of morale of this team, they're all kind of quite excited and happy. Everyone's really thrilled to be part of this, and then this one person's kind of dragging them down, sort of thing, making demands. Now, this is a young film director, and this was his first project, and this guy is obviously just trying to be big daddy of the whole thing, and just trying to take control. So it's kind of interesting how they kind of dealt with that situation. And yeah, there's many things which go on. There's one where the makeup artists, they go to get some bits and pieces, and they'd gone for a while, and then they kind of find out that no, someone else goes to look for them, and actually managed to roll their car, which was like not good. And then yeah, they were okay. They had to go to hospital, but nothing major, and they're able to come back on the set. And then there's another one, a high car, and driving along, and a bonnet flicks up and damages the car. Obviously, they're struggling with lighting all the time. Everyone's kind of scared about the kind of quality of the house, like how it's kind of looking. But the little snippets that you see of this film when it's been made, like, excuse me, the makeup and like the acting, and kind of for what it is, it kind of looks pretty fun. Kind of, maybe you're guessing like how I'm saying this is like you see these small snippets. This film unfortunately never got made because more and more things going wrong constantly. I'm not going to go too much into all of this because it's just so much. I just thought I'd dip into a few bits and pieces, kind of go fishing, try and get your interest. So one of the major things that goes wrong is the film stock. So when they do the wrap, they get everything done. They take it back to it's somewhere in one of the cities in Australia, and they have all their film cans. So they open up the first one, and they can see the film, and the director's happy. He's like, oh, I can see that. And then they open another, nothing, damage. Another, nothing, damage. And I can't remember how many reels there were. So 7, 8, 9, something like that. Only 2 actually kind of made it, and not always the best quality. Like, they had issues where it was just so dark they couldn't see anything. Obviously this is kind of one of the things with maybe the 35mm, that such a small space and they couldn't light it enough and different bits. I don't know, I'm not technical with that side of things, but it's kind of gut wrenching when like you're hearing all these things and you really get on board with this whole crew. They're kind of, apart from this one douche, they're really, really all for this film. And then to hear this bit, and it's just gut wrenching because like he's trying his hardest to find like all these like kind of buyers, because what he's plans, he's kind of edits bits and pieces together, and then he just floods all over the place trying to find people that will give money so he can go and reshoot bits and pieces. And then there's just it's just constant these things. So as well as he was kept having to ask for more and more money from like family and things like that, obviously he's stressed. He's probably, they're out in the middle of nowhere. They do, there's this kind of building where they kind of sleep and eat and have all the props, and there was all the lighting in there. And when they got the lighting back, obviously heads are all over the place. I don't know, but he gets a call from the lighting place, and they're basically, we received the lights today, they're in a terrible state, you didn't clean them or anything, and it's something along the lines of, I'll make sure you never work in this city again. And that was the tipping point for him. And he kind of, and there's a bit where he just burst into tears. He was saying he'd held it together for so long because it's one thing after another. And yeah, you follow, you feel everything with these guys, and ultimately, I won't tell you what ultimately happens. It's like you should watch this, but there's a nice twist to it. He makes an additional film. Also, he kind of has the same thing. He sees this location. He's like, I love this location. Writes a story, makes it much simpler, much easier, and it kind of, he managed to get it working. Yeah, and it's he manages to get it to a film festival. It wins a few small awards, and although it doesn't take off his career, it's kind of like a vindication of what was happening with this other film. So it's a real fascinating watch. This was actually on Amazon Prime that I picked this up, and highly, highly entertaining. It's not like a mockumentary. It's just a pure documentary made. I think if it's not made by the director himself, obviously he's the guy that's the main part of it, but they get the other cast and crew in, apart from this one douche. They get kind of everyone involved, and it's really, really interesting. It's kind of quite, although gut-wrenching, it's also heartwarming at the same time. So anyway, that's my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thank you. Bye bye.